welcome back to my channel and welcome to my pregnancy Q&A. First of all, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all of the congratulations and well wishes on the news. I'm very excited to be able to share with you guys because I've known for a few weeks obviously, and it's been the energy and the nausea and trying to be normal has been a little tough, so I'm glad to have that sorted. I want to start this video off by saying that I know this kind of content can be kind of triggering if you are in a season of loss or you're trying to conceive and having a difficult time. So if you need to unfollow or mute me for a little bit, I will totally understand. No judgment at all. I want you to do what's best for you. I would never ever want to add any sadness to that burden. So I'm going to be sharing my journey in hopes that it will encourage other moms and moms to be. And I'm fully aware of how incredibly blessed I am to be carrying this baby, and I'm so excited. So I asked for your questions on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, that's where I do most of my like day-to-day updates. So I'll leave my little profile and handle here so you can follow me. It's Megan E. Acuna, and you guys sent in so many questions. I wish that I could answer them all, but there were literally hundreds, which I was so shocked by. So I'm gonna try to answer the most commonly asked ones so that as many people get an answer to their question as I can. And I will do some more of these on Instagram too. So that the day that this video goes live on my Instagram stories, I'll also have answers to more questions. So you can go over and check that out. I just don't want this video to be like an hour long and bore people to death. So I've got all my screenshots here and I'm gonna see how many of these I can get through. One of the most commonly asked questions that I got was, were you and Matt trying? And yes, we were trying. Or I guess more accurately, I would say that we were not trying. I also got a lot of questions about whether we knew I was pregnant in all the videos where we were talking about like, oh, maybe 3 to 6 months from now. And no, we did not know at that time, especially when we first started talking about this and thought that it was a year down the road. That really was the plan. And then I got baby fever hard and I kind of kept like talking Matt down on his timeline until he got to like the 3 to 6 month range. And basically for me, it was like, I want to do like pregnancy, postpartum breastfeeding, like all kind of at once so that when I'm done, I'm done. And for Matt, like I'm pregnant now, but he isn't going to experience another child for, 7 more months. So I think that's kind of what helped him come around. And basically what we had decided was that we would start like not trying. So we weren't talking ovulation or anything, but we also, pulled the goalie and we weren't actively trying to prevent pregnancy. I obviously wanted to get pregnant. He was like, if it happens, that's God's timing. I'll be super stoked about it. And lo and behold, we got pregnant right away. So I think he was a little shocked because we both thought it would take a little bit longer, but we're both so happy and so excited, and I don't think either of us would change the timing. Another one of the most common questions I got asked was, how far along are you? So the day that I'm filming this today, I am 7 weeks and 1 day, but by the time you're seeing this, it should be, so I should be 8 weeks exactly today when you guys are seeing this, if this goes up on Monday, which I think it will. Another question I got was, so excited for you guys, thank you. Did this have to do with you passing out a month or so ago? No. So that was because I had started a new medication and one of the side effects was lowered blood pressure. So when I got up in the middle of the night, I passed out. That was right around the time where we conceived, but it had not happened yet when I passed out. So unrelated. What made you decide to share so early? So I have always planned on sharing my pregnancies early just because, this is my life. I share my life on the internet and it's obviously a huge part of what I'm experiencing right now. And I know that an argument for a lot of people is that if you do experience a loss, obviously that's really hard and really sad and could be difficult to share online. But for me, it's really important for me to be transparent and honest with you guys. And one of the things that I work really hard on is breaking down the stigmas surrounding motherhood. So if something were to happen, I would want to be sharing that with you guys as well. Obviously, take some time to process first. And if people don't want to share that, totally understand. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a very personal thing. But just for me, you guys are my community. I would have you with me in that. And so that's why we decided to share early. Another reason that I decided to put it out there so early is that I actually had a really scary episode this past weekend where I thought that I had lost the baby. Trigger warning here, I'm going to talk about miscarriage hemorrhage a little bit. So if that's something you're sensitive to, skip forward in the video about a minute. And it ended up being a subchorionic hemorrhage, which from what I understand is essentially a pocket of blood in the uterus from where a vessel didn't form properly, like connecting to the pregnancy. So I was out and about and I started bleeding, and it was a lot of blood, and it was the saddest, most horrific thing that I have ever experienced, because in that moment I 100% thought that I had miscarried, and I was in a public bathroom sobbing my eyes out. And then that whole weekend, it happened during a weekend, so I couldn't talk to my doctor right away. It was just awful. It was just awful. So I experienced a tiny fraction of what people who miscarry go through, because I thought I had for several days, and I can't even fathom how awful that must be to like have that whole process rather than just a few days of it. So my heart really goes out to people who have experienced loss. I am so sorry. But yeah, that was really hard and really scary, but the bleeding stopped after a few hours, which if it's a miscarriage, it tends to get worse. And so I went into my OB on Monday, and they did an ultrasound, and thank goodness baby was okay. Everything looked good. Baby was in the right place. We got a heartbeat. So that was just a huge blessing. And I walked out of that appointment so excited that I published the video that day. That was yesterday when I'm filming this. So I figured I wanted this baby to be celebrated regardless of what the outcome is. And I don't know that I would have published it if I had miscarried. Like I probably would have made a video about miscarrying and maybe included little clips of when we found out. But since I knew everything was okay, and the type of issue that I had doesn't lead to any complications down the road usually, I wanted to have it out there and to celebrate. And so yeah, that was a big part of it too. Someone else asked, where do you buy your maternity clothes from? I get most of my maternity clothes at ASOS and H&M, and I will leave a link down below to some of my current picks. I'm not going to be getting too much more stuff this time around just because I'm having the baby in the same season that I had Rowan, so my old maternity clothes should work just fine for the most part, but I am picking up a few pieces because it's fun. What were your first symptoms that made you think you could be pregnant? So I actually wrote these down because I had some pretty strong 2-week wait symptoms, and I was pretty sure by the time I took the test that I was pregnant, and I was gonna feel like I was crazy if I wasn't, because like I said, I had quite the list of symptoms. First one was increased appetite. I was eating everything, constantly hungry. Now, of course, nothing sounds good and I don't feel good all the time, so I kind of missed that a little bit. I was already having nausea in the morning almost right away. I was going to the bathroom in the middle of the night, which was a symptom that I also had with my pregnancy with Rowan. I was having a lot of congestion in the morning. I had some cramps right around the fertilization time, probably when it did the implantation thing. Really vivid, weird dreams, trouble sleeping, and weird food cravings. How has this pregnancy been different from your first so far? So I have a lot of similar pregnancy symptoms and some that are completely totally different. So I don't really know what to make of that. I know every pregnancy is different. Some of the similar things that I've experienced have been, like I said, the peeing in the middle of the night, the nausea, and a little bit of lightheadedness. I would say that the nausea is worse this time around. I can't tell if that's just because I'm chasing around a toddler and I didn't have to do that last time and I could kind of just stay in bed and work on my laptop, but I feel like it's worse. Also, some smell and food aversions. I had those for both, but it's been different in that last time I had tenderness in my chest and this time I don't. But this time, the biggest symptom that I've had that I didn't have last time is I get hot flashes and night sweats, which I thought was super interesting because I had night sweats postpartum with Rowan, but not when I was pregnant. So that's something I've been dealing with. How are you handling pregnancy with a toddler? Honestly, it's been tough. Matt has been a rock star and has really stepped up and been doing way more for Rowan and with Rowan. Specifically, meal times recently have been really difficult because a lot of things bother me to smell, like meat. I cannot smell meat right now. Don't even want to think about it. So Matt's really stepped up. His parents have been a huge help when they can be over here. I've been trying to do as much as I can while still taking it easy, but it's been tough for sure. Another couple questions that I got a lot were A, will you find out the baby's sex before birth? And B, are you scared of gender disappointment again? And the answers are yes and not really, respectively. So we're definitely planning on finding out the sex as soon as possible. So when this video goes up in a few days, I'm hoping to go into a midwifery and do the sneak peek clinical test and hopefully get the results by next week. We will announce it at some point. I'm not sure when or how, but I'm somebody who really likes to plan, and so like planning the nursery and buying clothes and stuff like that and names, I just want to know as soon as possible. So we'll definitely be doing that. And as far as the gender disappointment thing goes, it's interesting because now having had a boy and knowing how much fun Rowan is and how much I adore him and love being a boy mom, I won't be disappointed if we have another boy for sure. I will be so excited. It would be awesome for Rowan to have a brother, but I do think there would be a moment of grieving that I won't ever have a girl because we only want two. So this is likely, you know, things could change, but likely our last baby. And so I think I would be a little bit sad about never getting to raise a girl. But like I said, I would still be excited for a boy. So where is the new baby's room going to go? Is Matt gonna have to give up his game room? So no, we do have a guest room. So if you are picturing like the upstairs of our house, you come up the stairs and right on your left is Rowan's room. Straight ahead is our room. And then there's a bathroom on the right. Then if you go down that hallway, there's a guest room and then Matt's game room. So that guest room will become the baby's nursery. We have not started or thought about theming or anything. I think I'm gonna wait to find out the baby's sex first. It'll probably be a fairly neutral theme either way because you know me, but if it's a girl, I'll probably go a little crazy on the florals. Not a question, but I knew I saw those 4 stockings hanging at the beginning of the video. Yes, I have been dropping hints for weeks and nobody said anything about them, which honestly is really considerate because I know for some people, like people assuming they're pregnant when they're not, or if they're trying can be hard. But yes, you guys sending me DMs and commenting, you're totally right. I drop lots of hints. I'll try to go over them all in the next vlog, which should be out on Thursday, because I think it would be fun to go back and show you guys some of the things that I dropped in. But yeah, I've been a little sneaky sneak. Did you completely wean before trying for baby number 2? Yes, so Rowan was completely weaned 2 days before we started like trying or like not trying for this baby. And I always said to Matt, like, I want some time or my body is just my own, like in between kids. And I was like, maybe like a year. And it's so funny because it was literally 2 days. But I don't know, we just got to a point where, you know, I've talked about this before in videos where like I had made like a pros cons list for baby number 2. And basically, like, long story short, noticed that all of the cons, or not cons, but things I was nervous about were like short term and all of the pros were long term, like a lifelong relationship for Rowan and for us, and you know, that bond of our family. And so when we figured that out, the mindset shifted pretty quickly, and so I was like all in. I was ready to go. With 2 kids, do you think you'll hire a sitter for some extra help when you need to work? So the timing actually works out really well with Matt's mom. So my due date as of right now is July 18th. I have had 1 ultrasound and that's how we were measuring. I do have another one next week just because of the bleeding that I was experiencing. So not sure if that'll change, but yeah, right now it's July 18th and Matt's mom's a teacher and she's retiring after this school year. So she will be around to help a few days a week. And I think that will be a massive help for me with work. So that's kind of our like childcare plan so I can keep getting videos up for you guys. Do you think you will pursue a medication-free labor again? Yes, I think so. I went into my last labor thinking I'll get the epidural if I absolutely need it, but I want to see how far I can go without it. And I ended up, you know, not getting it at all. So we're currently trying to decide if we're going to deliver with my OB at the same hospital or if we're going to switch to a midwifery. And the biggest factor for this is that the hospital almost didn't let us film Rowan's birth. And obviously with what I do, and also just for our own memories, that's kind of a deal breaker. So I need to get some concrete answers on that before I can decide. But if we do go to a midwifery, then we also have to decide if we're going to do it at the midwifery or at home. If we did it at home, I don't think I would do a water birth. That's another question that I got a few times, just because I was so into the idea of laboring in water, but when I had Rowan, I tried it and it really just wasn't very helpful for me. So everybody's different. We're still looking at all of the options, but for right now, just because I did have some complications, it was easiest to just at least start the pregnancy with my OB from Rowan's birth. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated on what we decide with that. For the most part, my birth plan is going to be exactly the same as far as like things I want and don't want. It's just the location that I'm trying to decide. Another question that I got kind of a lot that I don't really have an answer to quite yet, I'll probably do a whole video on this like down the road, is what we're gonna be doing differently with number 2. And honestly, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I feel like I was really confident in the decisions that I made with Rowan as far as like baby-led weaning and sleep training at 5 months and stuff like that. So I kind of plan to do some stuff the same, but I'm sure there will be differences. So I will think on that and probably make a whole video about it later on. I will obviously be making, plenty of pregnancy content alongside my regular vlogging and normal non-pregnancy content. So if you guys have any videos that you want to see, if you want like gender old wives tales or baby names I love but won't be using or anything like that, please leave them in comments down below and I will make sure that the most commonly requested ones get filmed. But yeah, in general, I am just so excited to share this journey with you guys. Thank you so much for being here. It means the world to me. Oh, and if you're not already subscribed, please make sure to do that down below, because I know sometimes I'll like watch somebody's videos consistently because they're on my recommended page and then I'll realize that I'm not subscribed. So do me a favor and check down there and see if you're subscribed and the notification bell was on, because that would be awesome. Thank you guys so much for all of your questions. If you want to see me answer a few more, don't forget to go over to my Instagram because that should be up at the same time this video is up. But yeah, I love you guys. I hope you're having a really great day and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!